Elsie from A Beautiful Mess, and today I'm going to give you a tour of most of the rooms of my home where I live with my husband Jeremy and our dogs Dolly and Suki. So the first space that I have to share with you is our entryway, and these are the stairs that lead upstairs. And this horse stencil is a DIY that we did, I think, almost when we first moved in. I still love that. And then over here I have a brand new DIY. These wall art pieces are something that we just did in the last few weeks. An entry table, flowers, everything's painted gold, and some books that I love. And so that's my entryway, and I'll turn around next and show you the other side. So funny story, one day I started painting this door yellow, and I promised Jeremy that I would finish it that day because I have a horrible habit of starting a project and then not finishing it for months. And halfway through the day I started getting food poisoning. So it really was halfway painted for like a month. Anyway, I love our yellow door, and also I have these hanging planters and this planter set, which this is just something that I found at a flea market, and I didn't paint it or anything. It's just a place for cactuses, and I like how it's round. And then this artwork up here is by my friend Elise Blaha. Okay, now we're moving on from the entryway into the living room, and this is really one of the reasons why we even bought this house. I love how giant the windows are. The windows are huge and the light is really good in here, so I've taken lots and lots and lots of pictures in here, and it's been really helpful for both my work and just like having a happy attitude every day when we wake up. So over here we have a bookshelf. It's metal. It's actually kind of a display case, I think. It's vintage. I got it at the flea market, exactly this color. I didn't paint it or anything. And I really like it. I think I will keep it with me through our next home and everything. It's just one of those unique pieces that you find once in a while, and when you see something like that, you have to definitely get it because it might be gone the next day. This is our hanging chair. I actually waited for, I think, 2 or 3 years to find one of these vintage, and every time I found one, they were broken or just didn't seem very secure. So I just bought this from Amazon because I just kind of didn't want to wait anymore. It's been hanging in our home for almost 3 years now, and it is super secure. Our contractor is kind of like a giant person, and he sat in it, no problems. People always ask about that, but it's not scary at all to sit in, even for adults. Kids love it. I would definitely recommend it. If you're thinking of getting one, the only thing I would say is have a professional install it. So moving over here, this room has been through a lot of changes since we first moved in. I think I first started off with a yellow couch, which I ended up selling to a friend, and then we had another couch, which Jeremy ended up taking to his studio, and last year for Valentine's Day, we ended up buying this Gus furniture, Gus Modern, I think, couch, and we love it. It's the perfect fit for this kind of oddly shaped room, and I'll definitely keep it through our next home and everything, so I'm really happy that we finally tried a sectional. This artwork up here I made myself, just a quick DIY to fill the space, but I have ended up loving it. These brass planters, people always ask if these are DIY, but actually I found them at a flea market, so they are vintage. I think we could do them as a DIY though, and I'm going to try that in the future. Anyway, my dad helped me restring them so that they had the varying heights. And let's see, this rug is from Anthropology. It's just one of those things, it took me a really, really long time to pick the perfect rug for the room, and I've been super happy with it. It was one of those bigger investment pieces, but totally worth it to me. So I'll show you the other side now. So opposite from our big front window, this is our fireplace, and it actually is the same color that it was when we moved in. We didn't even paint it. it just happened to be white. Almost everything else in our house was a bright or bold or dark color, and we painted it. This is a piece of artwork my mom did. It's one of my very favorites. These pictures are a DIY we did a couple years ago. I think it was like 10 ways to display photos, but you can see it's still going strong, and it really lasted. I think I'll leave it there semi-forever. And then these gold planters I just did this past week, and I really like finding plants that kind of look like hair, like for this horse. I just think that's really fun. And then this is something I made in my pottery class a few weeks ago, and I just haven't had a chance to hang it yet. I'll show you the dining room next. Okay, so this is my dining room. This is one of the first DIYs that we did when we moved into the house, our 8-person dining room table. It's been definitely one of the most practical and well-loved DIYs that we've ever done. I still love it. Actually, around Christmas this year, I decided to paint it white just to kind of give it a fresh look. And after we had added the brown wood to the walls, I felt like it needed a little more white in the room. We used Rust-Oleum oil-based paint to paint this, and that's also what we used to paint the piano. A lot of people think it's kind of bad to paint a piano, but I think if you love and appreciate something more after you've painted it, then it's okay for you to do. Next thing I wanted to share is I made this bar cart. It's just done with the Rust-Oleum spray paint instead of the brush-on paint. And this was one of the first things we did when we moved in, and we used it as a bar cart for several years, and then recently I switched the bar stuff. I'll show you. It's in the new other dining room, and this is being used as a coffee cart, and I think it's super cute. So this room was one of those rooms that took a lot of different stages to get it to where we were happy. At first it felt too boring, then it felt too sterile, and eventually we got it to feel cozy and welcoming and just how we wanted it. So don't be afraid to take your room through a lot of different stages. Just because you've put in some effort doesn't mean you have to call it done. So this is my kitchen. It's a pretty small kitchen, but I feel like we've done the most we possibly could with the space. When we bought the house, it was painted red. It was very cramped and claustrophobic. There was a extra countertop covering half of a door, and now we've kind of opened it up and lightened it and brightened it and made it a lot more functional. So I have these, I have this collection of glassware. They're all shapes and sizes. I didn't have enough storage to have a ton of complete collections, so I kind of just have like 3 or 4 of each glass, and I'm happy with that. This fridge is from Big Chill, and it's one of the, it was kind of like Jeremy's present to me when we moved in, and it's definitely like more expensive than a plain fridge, but it's something that will last us a long time, and it just, I feel like it's kind of the highlight or the feature of this room. We decided, actually my mom talked me into going with a double oven, and it has been a huge help, and I've really enjoyed having it, so I would definitely recommend that. We did quartz for the countertops, and they're pretty much indestructible, so that's something that I would definitely do again in another house or recommend. And then over here we have this Clementine wall, and this was one of the DIYs that halfway through I was sure that it wouldn't work, and I thought it looked like sponge paint and really bad, but then when we got to the end of it and I sat back and looked at it, I couldn't be more happy with it. It looks a lot like wallpaper, and it really has kind of like given the kitchen a lot more personality. So this is our kitchen. Next we'll go to the new dining room. So this is a room that's been through a lot of changes, and in its current form, I haven't shown it on the blog yet. I am about to shoot the room tour, and I think it'll be the last one that I have to share for the whole house. So when we first moved here, we were working from my house, and this was our studio. So it had crates, and then there was the Instax wall, and there was a couch down here, and it was a completely different space. But after we moved my work away from my home, it kind of became an awkward nothing room that was filled with stuff, even though we couldn't close the doors. So people would always see it and it looked bad, but we just didn't know what to do with it. So we finally furnished it and made it into a real working room. So I'm really proud of this. So this table is from West Elm. The first time that we used this was around Christmas time, and we had the big Christmas dinner here at my house for the first time, and it was such a special time for me, and I was really happy that we went ahead and did this because there was way too many people to fit at just one table. So it's been great for parties and everything since then. Over here is a wine table, kind of like a buffet. Josh made this for us custom for our space, and I love how it fills up the room, and it's one of my very favorite furniture pieces in the whole house now. Above that, we moved our bar stuff in here. I kind of minimized the bar stuff that we kept at home because we just had way too many bottles that we weren't using. So I took some to the studio and minimized that. And above that is a collection of art prints and a couple that I made, one that Rachel made me, the weaving actually. And I really like how the colors coordinate, and so that is this wall. The last spot in this dining room is our record station, and then we did this artwork in record frames. It's just photos printed out in record frames. This was a recent project on the blog. I love having the record player right here in the house because we have a pretty open floor plan in the downstairs, and the kitchen's there, the dining room's there, the living room's there. So this is right by the entryway. So when you walk into the house, the music will fill up the whole downstairs. So that is the end of the downstairs part of our tour, and next we're gonna go upstairs where our bedroom is. Okay, so this is at the very top of the stairs, and there's this funny little landing thing. It's like, it has two stairs and then it just kind of stops and there's a window there. And it's one of those things where when you buy an old house, which ours is I think around like 1885, something like that, then there's always something really weird about it. Like we have a lot of windows in our closets and things like that. So anyway, on the first day or maybe the first week we had closed on our house, we were here just like painting and stuff. One of the neighbors came over and kind of came into the house, was chatting us up and stuff, and she said, "Can I see the stairway to nowhere?" And I was like, yes. So I brought her up here and she was talking about it like it was like a big deal or something, and we were like, okay, trying to figure this out. Lots of people have different theories about like it used to be another stairway into the attic, or they just raised it up so that people could walk on the stairs. We really don't know why it's like that. So anyway, she was talking about that, and then she continued to say, there's only 2 houses in Midtown that are haunted, and one of them's mine. And I was like, what's the other one? And she didn't say anything and she left. So that was our awkward beginning. So opposite from the honeycomb shelves is our hallway for the whole upstairs. This is where all the bedrooms are. Right there is the kids' room, which I'm about to show you. Here's our bedroom. And then back here in the back is a room that we've used in the past for a guest room, and now we're using one downstairs. And then a bathroom back there. I'm not going to show the bathroom, but it is in our book, Happy Handmade Home, if you want to see it. It's just not, bathrooms are weird. So anyway, these bookshelves I really love. They have been super useful, and I was intimidated about having enough books to fill them up, but, and I guess I don't quite have enough, but oh well. It's something that I really love in the home. And then behind me, I have painted our wicker chair white, as many of you suggested on Instagram, and I really love it. It freshened it up, and It's kind of, I feel like it has a more 60s vibe now. So that is the hallway. So next I want to show you our playroom. This has been one of those like kind of weird, unexpected rooms. When we first started writing our book, our editor asked us if we could include a kids room, and we were like, well, we don't have kids, so no, not really. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, actually, you know what? I have an extra room in our house. I have lots of nieces and nephews, so we decided to just do a playroom. And it has been used so much. Actually, Penny is coming over as soon as we finish shooting this video to play. So it has been a huge blessing. We really love having it. And I'll show you all the different elements. We have kind of this little IKEA chandelier, this art wall that my dad helped me install. These are all projects that were featured in our book, Happy Handmade Home. The blanket that has the roads on it. It's super cute and fun to play with. That's from the book. I'll definitely keep it forever though. And then we put a swing in. Just pull on my microphone. We put this swing in, and when we had it hung by our contractor, you have to find the studs or the beams in the ceiling, and so there's only like 2 places he could put it, so we ended up putting it kind of close to a window. It hasn't been a problem at all, but we do always supervise the kids when they're playing in here, and we tell them like it's not like an outdoor swing, like you don't like really, it's more like a chair. So anyway, this is our kids room, and it's been so fun to have this room for the kids to play. It's basically a babysitter. When there's more than one kid, it takes care of everything.
Did you know that pigeons are 30 pounds, that they could bite you and get you lost and then kill you until you get down like this?
So this comes to the last room in our house, our bedroom. And it is a really hard, really weird bedroom to explain because it's actually 2 rooms that are connected together. You can't close the door. You see in and out at all times. And we decided to make it our TV living room, so kind of like a hangout area. And then the smaller part of it is where our bed is and is the bedroom. So it works really well for us. We love it, and we probably will never live in another house that's like this again. So it's been fun. So the TV is here. Over here, I have my makeup and stuff. This is where I get ready in the morning. So I have scarves, flowers, bracelets, lipstick, just like these are all the different things. In here is our closet. This is definitely one of those classic examples of like nothing's perfect. There's no door. I wish there was a door on here. And when we first moved in, I think I thought I'm gonna get one that matches it and fits and everything, but I just never did. And this curtain isn't even really like what I would pick for this room, but you know, it is what it is, and that's what it looks like. Back here I have my perfume, and then some little Polaroids, or sorry, not Polaroids, photo booth photos from different special occasions in our life, and those are really special to me. This plush sculpture Katie made for me for my wedding, so it's one of our most special treasures. This chair is actually from our book, Happy Handmade Home, and we painted it with the gold gilding paint that we love to use. It's super smelly, but it works great. Over here, we have our couch and our love seat, an art wall that I did, I think, a year or 2 on the blog, so I'll link back to that. And this space is really pretty much set up to be comfy, and I'll show you my favorite thing about our dining room table. It's from West Elm, but it opens up so you can have, you know, a snack or whatever, and it helps us keep the dogs away from like popcorn and stuff. So this is the living room side of our bedroom, and I will show you the other side next. Okay, so this is the last room in the whole house. This is the bedroom side of our bedroom. And this is a dresser. We have a Debbie Carlos print. And then over here, our bed, this comforter, I think it's out of stock now, but it was Lily Wallace for Anthropology. And then have this new paint color that we put up pretty recently. these hanging vases were a project in our book. And so our bedroom is really pretty simple and pretty small, but it does the job. And I'll show you a shot where you can see kind of from room to room, but it's just kind of one big open space, and we're really happy here. So that's the end of my home tour. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I'm sorry I was a little bit spacey at some points of it. I think I just need to eat lunch, but it was fun doing this. So